Hello, my name is Craig Astor, and I'm running for U.S. Congress in the Kentucky 2nd District. And I live in Hodgenville, Kentucky with my wife, my 4 children. I have a daughter-in-law and a grandchild that will be coming in December. And so we're excited about the addition to the Astor family. And the reason why I'm running is because I believe the two parties has failed the American people over the past several years. And in fact, probably if you look back 100 years when we got away from Congress and issuing charters for a central bank, that with the Federal Reserve Act. And I know we like to demonize individuals. In fact, I feel that President Obama is being demonized right now, and no doubt, I mean, I'm sure we differ in a lot of opinions, but he is still the president, and he's still a person that I would respect and listen to his opinion. And at the end of the day, I would say, well, I thank you for sharing that, but maybe I differ with you on that particular issue. But there's a lot of people that just, I mean, we are at odds. We have such great conflict in America. In fact, I was talking to an individual just yesterday, and basically just talking very violent. I mean, talking about wishing somebody would put a bullet in a certain elected official. And I thought, I hope you don't go to church on Sunday and talk about how you love Jesus when you have such hatred and just ill will towards somebody because they're of a different party or they have a different agenda or worldview on politics. And I guess that's what it comes down to, is what is our worldview in politics? Do we believe that government's the solution? And if you do, then vote Democrat or Republican, because that's definitely their flavor of the day. Or do you believe in individual rights and individual responsibility and that you have a freedom and a liberty to pursue your happiness without the government telling you and infringing upon that pursuit of your happiness? And if you do, then I would ask that you look at my candidacy. I'm not saying that the Libertarian Party is perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm 49 years old and been married for 27 years and have 4 children. And believe me, my wife and my children will tell you that I'm not perfect, and I'm here to tell you that I'm not perfect. But at the same time, I do recognize those basic principles of liberty and freedom, and that's why I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. That's why I want to be elected to represent those principles in Congress to keep other demagogues, oligarchs, from trying to tell you how you are to live your life and take your property and more of your property through taxes and to waste and indebt our future generations through this thing called national debt and raising the debt ceiling. So we are in a crisis in America. And one of the crises that we have in America is we lack a sound money policy. Going back to demonization of individuals, I think Ben Bernanke is another person that is kind of just people just can't stand him, and they think he's the blame for everything. Maybe he's an enabler, but really, if you look at it, Congress is to be blamed. They're the ones that go to him and saying we need more money. And no doubt the Fed has had a lot of influence upon the policies that has been adopted over the past 100 years since they came to power through the Federal Reserve Act, which is not accountable basically even to Congress. Now I think accountability is good for everybody in life, and I think that the Federal Reserve Board needs to be accountable to our elected officials in Congress. And but I don't put all the blame on Ben Bernanke. I don't put all the blame on Timothy Geithner. I put it upon both the big political parties of of the Democrats and Republicans over the past several years, that surely they would have seen what was coming. Now, I'm not an economist. I'm an aircraft mechanic. And I have an analytical type mind. I try to look at things to try to say this doesn't work and let's see what does work and try to fix problems. And what we have now is basically it's kind of like a car to where our engine is knocking, burning oil because the cylinders are worn out and the engine is on its last leg. And also the transmission is burned up, it's slipping. The drive shaft, the U-joints, they're dried and the bearings are shot in there and they're knocking, they're about ready to come apart. And then you end up with the rear axle, the differential, it's growling, the wheel bearings are growling because the lube has leaked out through the axle seals over the several years. And we're trying to keep this thing going. Well, the problem is that we're looking at trying to replace the engine. And we might replace the engine, but guess what? We still have a burned up transmission, U-joints about ready to go out, and a differential that's about ready to come apart at any time. And then there's people who are saying, well, we need to change the transmission. Yeah, but it doesn't address the other problems like the engine. So what we need to do is we need to look at replacing all the components and getting them on a sound foundation. Now the problem is that you have one party that's just, I'm just going to use these two manufacturers, but maybe they like the Ford engine and the other party likes a Chevy engine. And the thing is that it won't work because it doesn't mount up to the Chrysler transmission and differential and drive shaft. So what we need to do is get everybody on page and recognize what are the problems in our economy. And I believe that having an unsound money system, we do not have a sound money system in America anymore.